time for Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank. Tennessee is in the 10 to 25 range of the way too early top 25 basketball rankings. I have no problem with them being there now, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Tennessee will finish in the top 10 at the end of the year. The reason I believe that, I've seen it 2 years in a row with Dalton Connect and what Tennessee was able to do in restocking its roster this past year. I believe Tennessee can do that again under Rick Barnes. So I'm betting on Rick Barnes. Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank. Tennessee will be in the top 10 at the end of this upcoming basketball season. What say you?
I agree. Right now, the way too early rankings for Tennessee basketball range from number 10 to number 25. They are number 10 on the 247 Sports preseason rankings. That came out after the Jacoby Gillespie commitment. Number 17 on the Fox Sports preseason rankings, number 18 in USA Today, number 19 in Sporting News, number 21 in ESPN, number 24 in Sports Illustrated, and number 25 with The Athletic.
Okay, here's the weird part about this whole transfer portal thing and the time it happens. Is this even an accurate time to be trying to judge teams moving forward? I mean, Tennessee could have, this just came out and Tennessee could have another 2 transfer portal guys come in.
No, but to be fair, that's why they qualify it with the way too early.
Okay.
They're acknowledging it's way too. It's like Talladega Nights when he's like, I said with all due respect.
Well, no, I understand
that. It's in the Geneva Convention.
I understand that, but also, Caleb, typically I know who the roster is going to be before we do way too early. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it.
I'm not saying I have to know everything. And in football, a guy like Tila and Jay Dixon could come in and that might affect your rankings, although it didn't. But Caleb, I don't know. This seems weird to me. And it's because the basketball calendar is all screwy. All of the powers that be wanted to make sure that football was taken care of, and basketball is having transfer portal open during the NCAA tournament.
No, I mean, yes, exactly. Well, sorry, spoiler alert, football matters more. I mean, football makes everything else go. So, look, it is way too early, but even with football, they do it. They do it in January after the season ends, and there's a whole nother transfer portal window after that. And I just said a whole nother, so I need to go shoot myself in the head now because I hate that word because it's not a word.
What's the word you used?
A whole nother. That's not a phrase. I hate that phrase, and I cannot believe I just said it.
It's okay.
So, anyways, I do think that this is why it's way too early. But I think Tennessee's not done in the portal. And I think when you see who they get, they're by the way, they're going for Rodney Rice, another Maryland transfer, Jacoby Gillespie's teammate. He was another solid player last year, so that would be another scoring guard for them. He could be this year's Chaz Lanier, honestly. And I think that if they get Rodney Rice and Jacoby Gillespie, you're all of a sudden talking about a really, really, really good team that's going to shoot up. And again, I still think Rick Barnes hasn't made his splash transfer pickup yet. So these are like, he's getting guys. Here's the crazy part about what Rick Barnes is doing this year in the transfer portal. Because he's had such success the last couple of years with the guys at the smaller levels dominating, going to the larger levels, he's not get guys that have dominated at the larger levels choosing to go to his school. That stands out. And I think when you see what he does in the transfer portal the rest of the way, you're going to see a top 10 team. And I think people are now starting to catch on to what I've been catching on to, which is, it's weird to say this about a 71-year-old who they were betting against for 10 years because he was known as second round Rick. But now there's like a renaissance of don't bet against Rick Barnes. Given what
I thought there was a real, I don't know that renaissance is the right word though, Caleb. I thought during the tournament, Seth Greenberg the day after had Tennessee going to the Final Four. I think he ended up flipping that. There were several guys that had Tennessee going to the the Final Four. There are several guys that had Tennessee going to the Final Four. I get the feeling that Rick Barnes is incredibly likable, and I get the feeling that people want Rick Barnes to see more success because of what he's done for the game. But I think there were a lot of heart picks in that as well.
There were people really. There were.
It's why I told you. No, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's why I told you. I thought that Oklahoma, Houston would out Tennessee, and that's what happened.
Yes, no, and look, but then you saw the flaw in Kelvin Sampson in this style, the last play of the game, because guess what? Kelvin Sampson drew a play for one shot, and when that shot wasn't available, Houston melted down. in that last possession against Florida Monday night.
They did something in that last play was goofy. They did something to telegraph that play.
Florida read it, but if a play is read, you usually have a backup you go to right then. You're like, if it's not there, do this.
Well,
and
I'm not arguing that, but they melted down.
Yeah, and it wasn't there. So, look, I think that Rick Barnes, there's a lot of we like Rick, but you see that with players too. Who, I mean, look at Jemai Meshack and Sakai Ziegler. You didn't see that for what you just brought up with Kelvin Sampson with Houston's players. You saw them saying, we want to get this for Rick Barnes. They felt that Rick Barnes deserved this. And by the way, here's the thing. You and I know this. Rick Barnes is in it for those guys. The whole reason Rick Barnes coaches is to build relationships with people like Jemai Meshack and Sakai Ziegler. And I mean, I assume they're graduating this year. I can guarantee you Rick Barnes will be there for them when they graduate, and we'll do photo ops with them and everything. That's what he does. That's who he is. Yeah. And so I think that's I think that resonates with a lot of really good players entering the portal.
Okay, for some reason, a new poll question, because the discussion is in our message board. Do you like your grits salty and spicy? In other words, I like them with Tabasco on them, or do you like your grits sweet? Caleb?
Oh, salty and spicy.
There you go. Other poll question, when it comes to Caleb's music taste, I feel sorry for him with 69% of the vote. It's just bad with 20% of the vote. He's spot on 10% of the vote. Caleb, you got to do some work on the music taste.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I like my music. I like what I like. And yes, I get Travis Barker as a Kardashian now, and I don't like that. But like, I didn't like when Kanye married Kim Kardashian. I certainly don't like Kanye now with the stuff he's saying. But guess what? I'm not going to stop listening to College Dropout. I'm sorry. I like the album too much. Too good of an album.
Horrible.
That's a great album.
Bunch of people trying to do grunge music that have no pain and suffering in their life.
Who?
Blink 182. That's the
they never tried to do grunge. They were
that's
punk
the whole
pop.
It's pop grunge, is what that is.
No, it's punk pop. It's punk pop. It's like they acknowledge it's kind of bubblegum pop, but like punk with a bubblegum pop twist. Green Day started it. So yeah, I was a fan of the punk pop phase. Loved it. Green Day, Blink 182, Sum 41, Avril Lavigne. I'll listen to Avril Lavigne all day. Paramore, Fall Out Boy.
Paramore, seen in concert and still terrible.
Who?
All right, Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank. I'll go ahead and say it. As long as Tennessee has Rick Barnes, they will finish in the top 10 in the final AP voting. Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank. Member FDIC, life made better.
Commercial Bank is your neighborhood bank. What makes us different from other banks? We understand that every customer has unique opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. We don't expect you to fit into the same box as the next person or business. Whether it's purchasing a home, saving for your child's future, or planning for your next vacation, we're with you every step of the way to navigate life's big decisions.
All right, so the message board, Dylan says Sum 41 references Caleb is growing on me. Don't do that. Nathaniel says, where's Caleb when I believe I can fly, or remix to Ignition?
Okay, we're not doing R. Kelly talk here, guys.
Okay, true story, though. I was playing racquetball one time at National Fitness Center, who's a fine sponsor of this program, and R. Kelly walked in.
Really?
Very strange. Very a lot taller than you would think in person. And he stopped by.
The racquetball community tends to skew older. What the heck was R. Kelly doing in there?
Yeah, he was in the wrong place. He went straight to the nursery. Anyway, all right. So getting back to the topic at hand.
That was quick, Dave. I mean, credit to you. That was a quick one.
It was so bizarre that he was there. I mean, trust me, I got a million of them.
You got a million R. Kelly stories?
Of that one instance, I did, because his bus got stuck in the National Fitness Center parking lot because somebody didn't know how to drive it. And so he was stuck there for like 2.5 hours. And that's when I used to play racquetball for 2 hours. And I would go in the locker room, to do whatever, use the restroom, whatever. And he was like surrounded by guys, and he's sitting there going, practicing some song. It was strange. It was very, very strange. Anyway, where are we, Caleb? Tennessee in the top 10, as long as Rick Barnes is a head coach. Do you agree or disagree?
Just next year, I think they're going to be in top 10. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll be every year, but I think they're going to get one more player. I think they're going to get 2 more transfers that are high profile. And when they do that, they're going to be in the top 10 starting next year. again. And one of the things Rick Barnes shows is with these transfers, he really gets them to play together well. Like, you know, the credit John Calipari gets for getting those one and done 5-stars to play together, which, by the way, I always felt was overrated. Like, was there really any coaching skill to getting like 5 lottery picks to play together?
No.
Like,
and one could be really bad because I've been the bad one, and I've had 4 really good players, and I know to pass.
exactly. So like, it's like when people are like, oh, he gets them to play together. Okay, these are like guys who've been playing AAU ball with high school ball since they were like 9. They know what to do. Calipari rolls the ball out, but Barnes gets these veterans that look, they're veterans and they're not like that. They developed in a system of college basketball. They are used to a style. But I think Barnes, because they're veterans, they buy into what he's doing and they are able to play together very quickly in basketball. As I'm saying it out loud, just in general, though, if you're a good basketball player, you don't need as much time to gel as you do in football, do you?
No. I mean, it helps. I mean, if you go back and you watch that UNLV team, I didn't think they played together except defensively. Now, this is a little bit before your time, I would think. This early 90s. They played an amoeba defense, which was essentially you had 4 guys that played zone, and you had 1 guy that would pressure the ball. So they had great chemistry there, but did they have great chemistry on offense? No, they were ISOing guys and clearing out, and it was that sort of game. So you just have to be really, really talented. I think you and I probably thought, at least I know you did, that Dubar and Igor and Chaz, even if they didn't play together to an optimal level, would bring enough talent to the court that they would be really good. And in turn, even though Dubar didn't completely pan out, they were.
Yeah. And the funny thing is the reverse happened. Igor and Dubar both like were underwhelming, but they all played together well because they were so experienced. An example from the NBA level was, I mean, Dave, you're a Celtics fan. When the Celtics got KG and Ray Allen, all they needed was an off season, and they played like they've been playing together for 20 years, that whole season.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, they fit together perfectly well, and Tennessee and Rick Barnes ended up making the best of it, and I've got to give him complete credit for that. So it's Bank on It, brought to you by Commercial Bank, member FDIC. Life made better.